up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
What up? What up? What up? And welcome into Pregame. It's your boy, Mikey Money. I'm inviting you to join the Sports Money crew on Winnable. Get all of our premium best bet selections.
For a low monthly cost, you get the very best bets delivered instantly to your phone by text the moment they're locked in. No delays, no missed lines, just the smartest plays at the best odds.
We do the work, you get the plays sent straight to your phone right when you need them.
Don't wait, don't guess, don't miss the line. Join the winning team today and start cashing tickets with Winnable.
Catchy little number. That's a catchy little number. And I appreciate you guys that do show the support. We're not big business supported. We don't have anybody cutting checks behind the scenes. So we need you guys believing in us, coming in here on a regular basis and take a shot. You know what? Best bets, winnable bets, subscription memberships out there, all that stuff. Maybe it's not for everybody. Maybe you're sitting there saying, hey, I don't want to buy picks. Well, you know what? Don't look at it as that. Look at it as tipping the dealer because we fired last night. Yes, the Houston Texans are shitbags. Okay. Didn't get that one right. Busted up the board. Both boards. Major League Baseball and the NFL. Look, this is what I'm talking about. I know I made a substantial amount of money last night. For like $20 a month. You can get out there, get premium picks from me. And if you want to look at it and say, hey, you won some money last night, you could throw me a 20. You could throw me 20. Get the service. I tell you what, I try to put the absolute best bets, my final selections out there. The ones I like the most. If you're looking for lower value, maybe that's a good angle to go about it as well. But my goodness, where do you want to start? Where do you want to start? You want to start with Arsenal? Gave out Arsenal today on the money line. We can start there if you want. Minus 130, 2-0 winner. No sweat bet. And it was literally a no sweat bet because they had the draw breaker. If you got a draw, you got your money back. Let's see. All right, well, let's start here. Let's start with the Houston Texans being scumbags. Now, gave out 2 touchdown props. And I said, parlay them together. Touchdown prop number 1. Nico Collins. He gets the first touchdown of the game. Oops. Cashed it. Parlayed it with Quentin Johnston. Plus 240, I think it was Quentin Johnston. Plus 950 payout. Cashed it. Second touchdown of that game. Cashed it. That's how we started. Now, live bet the shit out of that second half. 2-1 on the player props. 1-0 on the under. 21.5. Gave it out early. Remember, Ramon snipped at me. He said, we want to give it out at halftime. So the line's going to move. And it did. It moved to 20.5. So we nailed it. Fired it. Moved on to the second game. Game number 2. The under and the Chargers. Chargers minus 2.5, 3.5, whatever number you could get in a half. Didn't make a difference. They busted them boys up. Now, that was fun. The touchdown prop was fun. Cashed another same game parlay. 4-legger. Plus 1,200. That was fun. I think I don't want to get too carried away, but I think I've got a little secret sauce going on with these same game parlays right now. Now, on top of that, I gave out Austin Genti under 90.5 rushing and receiving yards. That cashed. Quentin Johnston, touchdown score, cashed. Chargers in the under. I parlayed them together. Chargers money line in the under. That was a plus 170. It just cash. That's how the football slate went last night. Hopefully you were there. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I had a small emergency that I had to take care of. And couldn't get out and back in time. So sadly, I missed the second half of that second game. But we fired nonetheless. Now, if you'll recall the way that we started the show out yesterday. Started here with baseball, football over there. Here was baseball, there was football. We talked about football. Busted the slate up, busted it up, right in the mouth. Busted up the slate in baseball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-2 in baseball here last night. 6-2. Talk about the losses. The Houston, Texas game. Under 8.5, it got to 9. We lost by a hook. What are you going to do? In hindsight, the team off of Sunday Night Baseball is a terrific fade. The delicious fade. Minnesota goes out there, puts up 7 runs. We can't get the over 9 because they shut out the Yankees. Now you're going to say the Yankees are coming in off a shutout. We're going to talk about it. We won the Cubs 4-0. Pittsburgh's coming in with Skeens off a shutout. I didn't play it. I like it. I didn't play it. The planet was on the Pirates. We talked about the false flag. Not those false flags. The false head fake. The head fake. With the line movement. Nobody's talking about that. We are. We cashed the over 9. Easy casher. Looked a little sweaty there early. 11-3 in the Atlanta Nationals game. Cashed the under 8. 4-1 in the Baltimore White Sox game. Cashed the Baltimore and Bradish strikeout prop for plus 164. Cash money. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, y'all. Dollar bills. Cincinnati Reds 11-6 winner. And we closed off the night with a late winner, plus 104 on the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, if you're new here, it's important you recognize this is what we do here. And we start every show off, not to brag, but to be transparent. And it's not easy when those days are tough and rough. But man, yesterday felt really good way to start the week. Where else did we start? Oh man, look, I said this today. Gave out the 2 plays I gave out there. One was the first leg of a parlay because the Atlanta Braves, I don't like to go with the game 1 doubleheaders, but man, that Brave spot had my name written all over it. So I parlayed it with Miami. And then I mentioned the Arsenal winner. So it's been a good day. It's been a good couple. It's been minus 2 days. It's been about a good month. And so we'll take it. We'll run with it. And we got another show tonight, the Dana White Contender Series. So, this is going to be what? I think was there one that got canceled? I don't know. It's 4 or 5 fights. I know that. It's going to be quick. It's like 2 hours. We're in, we're out. We don't fuck around. We just talk about the fights. Last week's fight card was amazing. Everybody got busted up. It was great. So I'm fired up. I'm ready for it. I hope you guys are as well. Yeah. Lots of winners. Lots of gold out there. And I just have a good time sharing it with you guys. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other share them angles, them sides, them dollars. Our best bets. Paul Romero says, are the Dana White Contender Series picks only available on that show coming up? No. In fact, MMA Jeff has a winnable package. I was thinking about putting 2 spots out there for the Dana White Contender Series. So stay tuned. But yeah, look, Pregaming, the evolution of the show is around this 6 p.m. time slot and giving you guys all that information, just kind of bringing it all together, putting the bow on it, and then trying to go out there and fire with our best bets. Fire we have. We're up at like 130 units in baseball this year. We idled out a little bit there post All-Star break, but we picked it back up. Boom. I don't know if we'll get to our goal of 200. It's pretty lofty, but look, without a lofty goal, you can't have lofty results. So as things morphed, we started doing live shows Saturdays for UFC. And because it's Saturday, we covered college football. Then the opportunity to, get members in here, those that want to support us. We want to support you. We want to give you back. We want to say thank you. And when we're not on the air, sometimes there's plays that make sense, and we want to give those out. So we take the time to give those out to those that do give us the support. Everything's free. Get all for free. Just a matter of digging into the coffers and sharing some of them winnings and saying, hey, boys, we appreciate what you're doing. And even if you don't want to do all of that, the easiest thing you can do is smash the thumbs up button. Thumbs up shows you care. Lets them know we're here. Puts us in the YouTube air. It says, hey, these guys at Sports Money are doing something. So if you haven't done so already, give that thumbs up a smash. We can get the cash. We do have some plays that will be popping off early. The Cleveland-Detroit game, 6:40 p.m. actually is the only play. Then we've got San Diego, the Mets. We've got Toronto, Tampa Bay. We've got the Angels in Milwaukee. We've got Baltimore and the White Sox. We've got the Yankees and Minnesota. We'll put a bow on the baseball show with Philadelphia and the Dodgers. There are two games that are being played tonight in the WNBA for the WNBA playoffs. I'm going to give you action in one of them. I'm going to give you a best bet in one of those two games. And hint, it's not the Fever game. So figure it out. It's going to be that Seattle Storm game. We got Las Vegas Aces, Seattle Storm. Picture perfect spot that we've been making bank on all season long. So I'm excited for that. Some action coming in early in the NFL. For anybody that's interested in hearing some sharp early action, I get the sharp betting report. I told you guys that. One of the tools that has really been a nice little add-on to what it is that we're doing here. And kind of enjoy that. So I'll share it with you guys. Week 3 action in already. In fact, in week 2, they were buying on week 3. They were buying in on the Green Bay Packers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That was before Sunday. So they had the early look aheads and they wanted to get the best of the numbers. Now they've opened up and they've gone pretty wide. The Packers continue to get beat up on -7s, getting the most sharp action from respected bettors. Green Bay Packers. The Minnesota-Cincinnati game. If you'll recall now, this is the Carson Wentz Browning game. Browning's girl is a smoke show. And she was dancing and prancing in the press box when he was out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google it. You'll see it. She's doing something. So anyways, Minnesota-Cincinnati under 42.5 is getting whacked again. Browning, Wentz. Now, they've got some other spots that are getting hit. The Houston-Jacksonville game's getting banged on the over. I mentioned the Steelers. They're continuing to follow up on the Steelers. They're taking in on the Falcons, and they're taking in on the Cowboys. I've already put a play down on the Cowboys. So if you're looking for action from me to start the NFL Week 3, I'm telling you right now, I'm on the Cowboys, and I'll make that an official play that I'll share with you guys right here. Look, +1.5. They opened at +3, way look ahead, like 2 weeks ago, look ahead spot. They've moved on to +1.5, and now it's starting to flip. It's right on that navigation point of 0. And man, you got to respect the fact that it's the Bears. 36% of the bets, 56% of the cash on the Cowboys. It's coming down. Public loves the Bears. The Bears. I don't know why. Total's gone from 47.5 to 50. And you have 87% of the bets and 89% of the cash on the under. So you got reverse line movement on the total. I mean, look, we can get into some real shit, or we can just talk about this high level and say, bottom line, who the fuck's going to score for the Bears? And you've heard it, and I agree with it. We talked about it again last night. Once that poor dumb bastard goes off script for the Chicago Bears, he looks lost. He doesn't know where he is. He doesn't know what he's doing. Caleb Williams, script him out, 15, 20 plays. Fine. First drive, boom. Now, Dallas, on the other hand, you could argue the Cowboys and their recent performance. It was the Giants. Yeah, but it was a divisional game. It was back-to-back divisional spots. They went to take down the Super Bowl champs. They couldn't. start 2-0, Super Bowl champs, defending their Super Bowl status with 2 straight wins. But that was also on the road. And so we know this Dallas team can travel. I think they go out there and they thump this Chicago Bears team. I think the wrong team's favored. Going to be windy. Or at least that's what the early look ahead says. I don't know how much, for me around here, the weatherman can't forecast the weather for fucking 10 o'clock tonight. So seeing that it's supposed to be windy, I don't know. How much stock do you put in that? I'll put enough in it. I'm going to take the Dallas Cowboys. I got them at +1.5. That's an official play for week number 3, the first play. I don't like to put too many out there, though. We talked about that teaser. And with that New England over, and it was fucking raining sideways. It was Forrest Gump style rain when he was in Vietnam. The war in Vietnam. So there you go. There's some action. There's a little bit of a breakdown from the NFL and early movement and what the hell is happening out there. Now, the other thing is there are some injuries on this Dallas front. So we have to be kind of cognizant of that. But Bears are just new coaches, new quarterbacks, dummies out there. Dummy-o. Follow your dummy Q into the formation. You guys know what that's from? Does anybody know what that's from? I'll be impressed if somebody gets that one. I'll be impressed. So, look, takeaways from last night. Baker, shaking Baker, man. Fucking guy. What are you going to say? What are you going to do? It was Varsity Blues, by the way. You guys missed it. Oop-de-oop. What the fuck's an oop-de-oop? Anyways. I'll just give you guys that one real fast here because sometimes we forget to follow up on the whodunit game. What was that movie from game? The Chargers. Yeah, second half, live under. Raiders, that bad. To think that them boys were going to go out there and handle the Chargers. I don't know what you're going to see out of this Bucs team now. I mean, defies logic. Your offensive line is banged up coming into this thing. You're playing a stout run defense in the Texans. You got 2 guys that you lose mid-game. And yet Bucky Irving still goes over 67.5 yards or whatever. I don't know. Damn it, goddamn genius. That's a fun one. So, look. Bucs won. You got to respect the fact they won 2-0. Got to respect it. And then they got the Texans that can't win for shit. Texans, Raiders, Bears. Bad teams. And I don't know that that's an early assessment. I think that's some fact. So, Jerry Davis says Geno played like he was with the Jets. I mean, look, some really bad performances out there across the slate. The Broncos' stellar defense loses outright to the Colts. People talking about the Colts winning the division now. I said that before the season started. This is the best team that Danny Dimes has got around him. Ravens thumped. By the way, double-digit favorites, which is important to note for this week as well. Continue to smash in the 2 seasons in a row. I may or may not have a friend that may or may not be involved in the bookmaking business. And I may or may not have gotten a message that said, NFL's been tough, bro. So, tough because he's paying out. It's favorites. It's been favorites this week, last year. I said last year, if you had a database that you put together last year for the first time, all you're going to think is play favorites in the NFL and retire. We'll see what happens. We'll see if that continues to be the case here. But the spread also continues to not matter. And that's why I was taking a little bit more of a shot. Not that it doesn't matter. Don't hear me wrong here. But look, Tampa Bay is getting, 3? 2.5 or 3? They went outright. The Chargers are laying 3 or 3.5, depending on when you got it. They busted them up by, 11, 12 points, something like that. So that's why I'm willing to take a shot earlier. Like, let's try to get a little bit better line value. Not that, I believe more in winning the bet, not so much celebrating how much money I beat the line by. But sometimes all that means is you You got to the public line before the rest of the public did, so congratulations. Let's go, though. Get those best bets in the chat. Let's talk about this business of the business tonight. We got this card rolling here. Like I said, 6:40 game popping off. Game number 1 will be the Cleveland Guardians. Detroit Tigers. Stop geoengineering's here. Nasty Nate says, Mikey overslept. I didn't oversleep. I was here rocking. I was rocking. I wasn't the one that was late this morning. Irish King in the house. Cut blaster. Joey W. Great afternoon. Yes, it was. Mr. Tomatoes. Peter Gracia says, sup, Mikey? Let's see what's cashing. Nicholas Handy's here. Rose Miller says, dollar bills, y'all. Paul Romero for the Dana White Contender Series picks out there says, thanks. Great show. Love being here. Paul Romero, I love you being here, man. Thank you. Thank you. SF Niner says, I went Ramirez Devers. Home runs. Am I cooked? No, I don't think so. I like Bregman tonight. I think Boston, I don't know if Boston smashes. Conflicting situations here because they do cook on Oakland or the Athletics. But they are a fade in the first game of a series. J Main says, yo, what up, gang? AOD's here. Shout out to you, AOD. SF Niner says, get your Ramirez home run prop in now. J Main says, I got Cleveland money line, and that line been minus 145 since I got it at 4:30 a.m. Shout out to AOD. Peter Gracia, Soccer Arsenal Cash. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go. Magnifico 88 says, sup, my dog? What's up? What's going on, dude? Says, what's the play in Dana White Contender Series tonight? I'll tell you what, I almost thought about a key play. You guys know what a key play is? You guys know what a key bump is? No, I'm just kidding. Talking about a key play, meaning you tie it to every single play that you're making that night. And it takes it and just gets you that much more juice. And part of the reason I was looking at that is because, well, he be a little juiced. Patty McCory. In So Huang. He's minus 275 on Bet Online. I think he bust this dude up. This is a complete fucking mismatch. And it's going to get ugly. And it's going to be ugly fast. If he gets out of the first round, I'll be impressed. But at minus 275, what are you going to do? Key man parlay it. Take a couple of other spots you like. Take it, parlay it with the, let's see what the Brewers parlayed with this is. Because they're juicy as fuck tonight. Minus 250 or whatever. Shout out to them Yankees, though. Minus, what did I tell you guys last night? You want to pay this price to find out if the Yankees are that team? Minus 113. So this is what happens. You take a guy in McCory, minus 275. You parlay him together with a Milwaukee Brewers, minus 260. Makes it minus 113. It's not that plus money that we like to see, but and there's a lot of other things. Listen, there's no such thing as a lock, but damn. Something to think about out there. Let's go. Let's get after it. SF Dennis is Real Madrid and Tottenham. Dude, I had the both teams to score, and I got it live. Both teams to score and over 2.5 in that. You know the game. It was in the afternoon. It was 0-0 at halftime, and then they fucking exploded in that second half. It was a gift. Cleveland Moneylines first pitch soon. They get demise, I think, says Mr. Tomatoes. Minnesota Twins money line in the Dodgers minus 1.5. Hammer says, I think they're going to be a ton of points on both sides. Hammer says, Eberflus coming back to Chicago. I'm here in Chicago. Going to be going to the game. Rain in the forecast, too. 3:25 start. So to all you guys, man, let's go. Jerry Davis says, Gino played like he was with the Jets. Stroud Mayfield rushing, says Magnifico. Jeff Matthews says, fucking chalk. It'll turn around quick. It'll even up by the end of the season. That's for sure. The Real Jolly Roger says Texans and Raiders should play in the CFL. That's what should happen. You should be relegated to the CFL. Nasty Nate says the Sox are going to smash the Sox. J Main says Cleveland, Colorado, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Stros, Moneyline. Irish King says Kurt's home run. Jerry Davis says the rookie absolutely smashed the A's 7 days ago with 11 Ks. And Magnifico says anyone playing athletics champs. Sydney was plus money now. So I do have the second leg of the parlay out there. If anybody tailed that this morning with the Miami Marlins. Now, I think the parlay pays around plus 250. You can lock in profit right now by taking the Colorado Rockies. You get them around plus 120, plus 125, depending on where you're at. So that's an option. If you're going to do that, I would only do it for half though. Like don't put the whole thing on the line, right? Like you got to figure out what makes the most sense for you, but just lock in profit. You can lock in profit. It's an opportunity that's in front of us right now. So give that some consideration, if you will. I'm not going to touch that game here now because we're in that position with Yuri Perez and Kyle Freeland. But I will take some position on game numero uno. The first game on my betting card here for the evening slate, the Cleveland Guardians, the Detroit Tigers, and the spot that I jumped in on. It is Joey Cantillo and Casey Mize. If I'm not mistaken, Casey Mize was supposed to have a start in there. They changed his rotation. So I'm not sure what happened or why they got to the changing of them. Well, what do I know? Looking at this guy's runs, he's been giving up home runs. That's a problem. And his numbers, despite him being a Tiger and maybe one of the best in their bunch, Scooble. Got to give it to Scooble still. 4-3, 5-1, and 2 runs given up his last 5 games. He is definitely gettable. And to you guys talking about Ramirez home run prop, it makes sense to me because he's graded very highly on my dashboards as far as a guy that can go out there and shove. Other side of things here, it's Cantillo. Fucking dude shoved his last game. Now, look, 8 innings pitched, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Does that scare me a little bit? Yeah. Why? It's a pretty long run there going 8 innings. But if you look back at his history, he's a 6'6", 5'6", 8 guy. So, he's been going out there dealing on his own right. And, look, my brother always says, don't fade the Hawaiians. Coming out of Honolulu, Hawaii. But for me, this one comes down to just a situation where I'm looking at this number going, are you kidding me? What the hell is happening with this spread right now? Why is this line dropping? And if you're going to take this Detroit Tigers team, you're going to get them against a divisional rival in a lower scoring game. This thing should absolutely be like a 2-1 final. You know where I'm at. Give me the dog at some plus money with the familiarity of playing this opponent. 81% of the bets, 85% of the cash are on the Detroit Tigers. It's gone from minus 213 to minus 139. $1.39 now. And that's should be concerning if you're thinking about now. I know the other day I said I'm going to take some of these, like the Cubs. We took the Cubs there. They came down 50, 60 cents. I think it was 62 cents, wasn't it? But that was the Pirates. The Pirates are not in the same class. I mean, look, they're bad. We know they're bad. It's Paul Skeens. They'll probably end up fucking streaking across a win tonight. But I got to get involved in the Cantillo business. To me, it was just one of those lower scoring opportunity, with a guy that's been going out there shoving. The wind's kind of working in his favor. It's kind of coming in a little bit right to left. And it's got the advantage of having shut down. If he saw anybody, he shut him down on the Detroit Tigers side of things. Gleyber Torres is the one player that's got 4 at-bats against him with 2 hits. That's it. So you got the lefty as well. We know we like the lefty aspect. That ball spins with different rotation. It comes in from a different angle. And look, the opportunity, experience with this Cleveland Guardians team. Can they go out there and put a couple wins together in a row? That will be the test. But I think what happens for us with this series here, just kind of looking at the series aloud, is we take a shot with this one and say, hey, if we can get this money and we can catch it at plus money, look, they've won 4 in a row. They lost. 9 of their last 10 games have been dubs for the Cleveland Guardians. If you're going to take a shot, now's the time. Plus 120. Good price tag on these boys. Should be good dividends for us as we get this card rolling. I told you my situation with the Athletics. Signs point to the Athletics. And I'm not just trying to fade the Sox, but it's tricky. For sure. They've beaten 7 straight games that they've beaten up on the Athletics. They're not the best to open a series. I don't know if that matters at the end. I think they probably do go out there and bust them up. That'd be my guess. But I don't want to get there. It's hard to force a play on the spot like that where there's a lot of uncertainty in that game out there because it's a big deal for some of them young boys to be playing over at Fenway Park, trying to bust up on a Red Sox team that's playoff bound, more than likely. We'll caveat it with that. So that's kind of the reason behind why I stayed away from that game. I like the Fire, but this is a tricky time of year. This next 2 weeks of baseball are going to be super tricky when it comes to actually picking the spots that we want to go hammer away on. And so for that reason, like I said, I struggle to get there. I struggle to be able to pull the trigger on that one. But that's okay, because I do have a trigger to be pulled. And it's not just because it's one of my favorite teams to beat up on, contrary to popular opinion. Yeah, Zoe faces Cleveland 9-1 in their last 10. Absolutely. Mr. Tomatoes took the Cubs first 5 and money line. Jerry Davis says Cubs +1 and under 8. Same game, probably. I like that with the Guardians in the under. Oh, boy. Jerry Davis says, I'm on Tigers here. Mize has been pretty great lately. I don't know, man. His control's down. I don't know. I guess we'll see. We can agree to disagree. And then we'll come back tomorrow and we'll talk about it. See who's won and who lost. But that's okay. Got to look at this game here. The Padres, the Fathers, the Mets. Something been itching my back. By the way, as far as some spread numbers for you guys, 43% of the bets, 73% of the cash are on the Pirates. The line hasn't moved a cent. Has not budged 1 cent. That should be a red flag for Skeensy. Total was 7. It's come down to 6.5. I wouldn't fuck with the 6.5. 81% of the bets, 66% of the cash. That number's too low. That scares me. Yeah. It only takes one bad inning for that number to be already in jeopardy. What you want to do is, what I would do if you're looking to play that game is expect one of these guys to give up a run or two early, and then you can catch an 8 and then live bet that thing under. That's how you got to look at the pregame, current game type of situation. Red Sox -148, now -155. 84% of the bets, but only 78% of the cash hit the Red Sox. And the totals come down a half a run with 87% of the bets and 92% of the cash. Some movement in the Mets game. 83% of the bets, 64% of the cash on the Padres. So there's a differential towards the New York Mets. They went from -106 to +105. That's why I want to get back in the game with this one. 85% of the bets, 76% of the cash on the over. We talk about this. If you guys are new here, we look at the percentage of bets. That's kind of the whole soup. That's every ticket that's been written. It's a parlay. It's a teaser. It's a prop. Everything kind of falls into this soup, and this is where those tickets are coming in, right? Then we look at the percentage of cash, and we start to try to get a better indicator of what's happening out there. Bigger bettors, sometimes sharper bettors. Not always sharper bettors, but tend to look at the cash as the sharps and the slips as the public. Think about it. Public's writing $2 parlay tickets as long as you're on. I got one today. $2 to win like 105,000 or something like that. Sure. Take a fucking swing at that. 105. It's game changer right there, man. You never know. You never know. Probably going to lose it, but you never know. And then we look at the percentage of cash, and that's like, all right, well, somebody just came in with a backpack full of money and dropped 10 dimes on this side, and now we're looking to see how are the books reacting. But I got to tell you this, with Clay Holmes at 3.76 ERA, Michael King 2.87 ERA. You know my deal. I've talked about it. Probably the most accurate description of the New York Mets, and probably the best guy to have given that description. They just don't have any identity. And they got busted up at Philly. They got busted up against the Rangers. Now they are at home. That's the one piece they've got going for them. And downfall, if you're the Padres, they played like 7 of their last 10 games against the Colorado Rockies. So there is step up in class variable here. Not to mention, they're traveling across country. But I don't know. I mean, look, Could all be so fortunate. That West Coast to East Coast travel shit's like a myth. I don't believe. We used to say that in football all the time. Like the team that's traveling from the West Coast to the East Coast is at a disadvantage because of the body clocks. Like, I don't know about that. It's actually about a 52% win rate the other direction, if you can believe that. So for what it's worth, I'm going to kind of take that little nugget and put it aside here, because when I was looking at this game here, it's the Padres opening dog in a series on a total that's less than an eight or less, I should say, as a dog of 140 or less. So not an egregious dog. They're not going out there slaying the dragon, but they are 7-0 in those positions. And I'll take that against this Clay Holmes struggling Mets team right now. Now, thought about the first five for this game, just full disclosure. And I want to talk it through with you guys, because what I thought about was, remember back in the beginning, middle of the season, when the Mets were killing it, and I gave you guys those analytics, and I said, first 3 innings, good. Middle 3 innings, shit. Last 3 innings, good. I went all the 9 innings for the Padres to be out there working the ball. I mean, look, I told you guys, Clay Holmes, 3 straight losses in a row, puking up runs. 1 run, 2 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs, 4 runs. It's getting worse. He's not getting better, and he's going less innings. He's not eating up the innings that he used to. So I could just put a strike in the corner that says, yeah, it does make sense to play the first 5 here, but I'm just concerned that that middle third gets us into the 6th inning, and that means we need more than just that first 5 number of runs to satisfy the win. Does that make sense? Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down by that? Oh, my eye itches, man. I'm fucking falling apart over here. Jerry Davis is their favorite in the first 5. That's because Clay Holmes stinks. Zofe says, I've only ever gotten jet lag flying back home from. I agree. The guys on the East Coast have to travel difficult. When you go to Hawaii from New York and it's 12 hours of flight time and you get there and it's the middle of the afternoon, you're fucked. Trust me. That whole day's shot. That's why when you if you do fly to Hawaii, you got to go for like 10 days. Because you got your garbage on at least one day flowing right out there. And that's flying commercial. Now these guys have masseuse on the plane. They've got, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the way that these guys fly now, but it ain't so tough. I mean, the one component is, yeah, you're at altitude, so the muscles contract a little bit, right? That's a real factor. So you do have to deal a little bit with the muscles reaction there. But anyhow, give me the Padres. Give me them to take down this topless Mets team right now, and let's get them out of the fucking playoff contention. Now, they are 46-29 at home, so there's a spot to be involved with them. And on the same token, I did a little bit of due diligence. I looked at the K-prop line for Michael King this morning. It's come down. It's more attractive to bet him now, and he's at 4.5 Ks, but I think we can go out there and get these guys handled. He's good to give up 2 runs. You know what you get with this guy? 2 runs, 2 runs, 3 runs, 2 runs, 2 runs. 6 innings, 6 innings, 6 innings. There was a 2. It's an ugly 2. But then he followed it back up with a 5. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with San Diego. Probably Pete Alonso gets a home run because I'm fading his ass. So that would make sense too. All right. So that game pops off in 30 minutes. The notification just came out for it. Oh, what's going on here? Oops. We got to talk about this game. By the way, this is one of those cards I looked at it and I thought everything had a shot to be under. I like to tell you guys when that happens in case it helps you make a decision when it comes to betting on the total. The Toronto Blue Jays. Jose Berrios. Plus 102 Blue Jays, now minus 106 Blue Jays. 61% of the bet, 65% of the cash on the Blue Jays. And it's moving. That's the correlation we want to see. Like the public's there. A little bit bigger bettors are there too. And they've moved the line to show that 8-cent concern. They dropped it 15 cents on the Tampa Bay Rays side of things. Minus 120 to minus 105. That's the correlated movement we want to see. Then we got an 8. 73% of the bets, 74% of the cash are on the over. And it hasn't moved. Is it because both these guys should shove? Jose Berrios has done his absolute best to shove it up my ass his last few performances. we can't forget the 8-1 win lead that he had in the second inning when we took him to win the game. He got pulled in the second inning. The following game, we had bounce back Berrios stats. He did go 5.1 innings. He did lose 3-2. There's the Cubs. Well, there's the Cubs run. What'd I tell you? What can we get that live at right now? Fuck, 7.5. I'm going to take the 7.5. Live bet right now. Right now on the show. What'd I tell you? That's exactly what I said to do. And that's how you got to have your notifications on. You don't have your notifications on, you're going to miss out on opportunities to fire like that. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You stop the fucking show. And you go out there and you whack it. Now, we'll see if it gets the win or not. So my point about Berrios was he's fucked me twice. Team came back and won that game. So if I wasn't greedy with the Berrios to win, Now, I'm prefacing that because Berrios is in a bounce back spot. It's the prototypical definition of the bounce back spot. So I played this. I'm going to tell you how I played it. And you guys do what you want. I would tail it if it was me and I was you, because we've been just fucking slaying baseball here. But Berrios, 10-0, road starts, total less than a 9.5 if he went less than 6 innings and gave up more than 4 hits. Less than 6 innings mean it wasn't a quality start. Giving up more than 4 hits means he was getting touched. Show me on this dial what happened. Just going to tell you he's plus 210 to bounce back today and get the win. Just going to tell you that. So if he's got that 10-0, or what did I say it was? I think it was 10-0. I got late nights, early starts. When he's coming out there leading the game, the question is, can he go into that bottom of the 6th inning? Took Toronto on the money line. I did break down some cash on the Berrios to win. It was like plus 220. This is where I fucked around. We've seen some unique scenarios, some weird shit happens. And it's this time of the year where we can look at the numbers and say, oh, it hasn't happened yet. But we've seen a bunch of guys fire off no-nos. So I took Jose Berrios to throw a no-hitter through the first 5 innings, plus 5,500. Just enough to make it worth my while, but not so much that it really fucking matters, okay? Wherever that line of definition is for you, the reason I was doing that is because we've seen some guys lately. We haven't seen a no-hitter all season, and we've seen some guys lately going 7-8 innings. If Berrios is going to bounce back, no better team to go out there and shove it up their asses on than the Tampa Bay Rays. Now you know. Now you know. That's why I wanted to break that game down and talk to you guys about it, because I wanted to be fully transparent and let you know. Dude's fucked me twice. And it's almost with the same scenario and same logic. So anyhow, I thought, the nice thing about it is, like, you're looking at, like, how do you play a plus 5,500? What's that definition for me? Well, the definition for me is, how much do I need to invest on Jose Berrios to have a no-hitter at plus 5,500 to potentially win a unit? Whatever your unit size is, that's how I kind of back into these things. When they get over plus 1,000, like, they're fun bets because you don't have to risk, you don't have to stake a ton, but you can really move the needle with low risk. Now, you could argue a dude throwing a no-hitter after getting slapped twice through 5 innings is risky. I get it. But I mean, risk is in terms of the financial stake, right? Shit. You could put $5 on it and make what? 300, something like that. Seems like that's a small bet to have a little bit of fun. So you deal with it. Now, FanDuel's where that bet was, by the way. So it's interesting. The way I stumbled on that is I couldn't find the pitcher to get the win on FanDuel, but they had pitcher specials for Jose Berrios, and one of those was to throw the no-hitter through 5 innings. Then I flipped over to DraftKings and I whacked him for the Jose Berrios to get the win. So anyhow, Toronto, official bet, couple sprinkles for some fun, some big spots out there to try to take a shot. Just again, you guys know the deal. You get your core bets in, and then you adjacent. You line up adjacent some big bombs to try to really sway the game and build the bankroll. And that's the best way I could share with you on how I'm approaching it with that game. This game with that same token, that same notion. Yeah, the Brewers should go out here and bust these boys up. And it's Freddie Peralta, and he's been busting everybody up. So 94% of the bets and 98% of the cash are on the Brewers. Yikes. The line's come down 3 cents. In all fairness, it's oscillating because it's gone up 15 cents on the Angels. 8s have moved to 8.5s with 81% of the bets and 86% of the cash. That's a head fake. It's not a true 8.5. You guys know we talked about this before. If it's minus 110 and all that money's coming in, they'll head fake you because they'll throw an 8.5 out there, but there's no juice on it. So is it a true 8.5 or is it still really an 8 and they're just trying to mind fuck some people? I'm not proposing you play the total. I'm not proposing you play the side. I don't like getting involved in the sides because you got a minus 1.5 at minus 124. If the Angels are going to go out there and get thumped, that minus 1.5 should be like minus 150, minus 160. You should have to lay 2.5 runs. At least in my opinion. And so that's where it deems, how do you play this game? How do we jump in here? Well, look. Brewers offense, power, not so much. But they're getting runs. So the definition, right? They're BABIP. 326 over the last 2 weeks. Second highest in baseball. So they're getting guys on base. They're generating a bunch of singles and doubles that are putting runs across the finish line. Now you take on Caden Dana. He's making his 8th career start. Not a lot of experience from this guy. 21 years old. Gave up 6 earned runs on 9.2 innings pitched. Walked 6 dudes. And now you look at the team total for the Brewers and you see that it's 5.5 to get some plus money. Now we know Freddie P can go out there and shove. We know he's been winning over 38 innings. He's given up only 6 earned runs on 19 hits. There's 2-0 Cubbies. Hope I didn't screw the pooch for us. What's that total sit now? Right, meow. There's the 8.5. Nope. There's the 8.5 that I wanted though. Okay. So, begs to differ. How are you going to go about this game? Look, I don't suspect the Angels win. I don't want to lay 3 runs with the Brewers. I just told you they're not hitting the power. They're not hitting bombs. They're hitting singles and doubles, and that's fine. How about this? It's plus money. It takes that team total that's juiced 4.5, like minus 160 juiced. Takes it down to 3.5. So we took a whole run off of that. Then we took Freddie P to get plus money on Freddie P's pitches. He's got to go over 8.5. Actually, he's got to go 9 plus. Somewhere in that vicinity. So I'm taking that down to 7.5. I'm going to slap those two together. We're going to make a plus 133 price tag without having to see who wins, without having to mess around with all the public buying in on this thing, without all the money coming in there, without laying $2.50 to see if they can scratch through the win, without having to play Freddie Peralta to get the win at minus 150. Just handle your fucking business, boys. Keep doing exactly what you're doing, and we'll cash a plus 133. I thought that was the most prudent way for us to go whack this game. Yeah. Jerry Davis's Brewers minus 286 now. Zoe says he loves the low risk spots. Tossed $15 in the Seahawks to win the NFC West yesterday. Plus 850. Yeah. I mean, look, it's fun too, because it's that kind of it's not too much. Yeah, I did play the 7.5. I did jump back in and play the 8.5. Truth shall set you free. The truth shall set me free. But I didn't play that game pre-flop. So now you know kind of why. And look, I put my money where my mouth is. I told you the strategy that I was deploying to get that thing done. What probably should be watching it, in all fairness. But we are where we are. So I thought this was a really creative way to play this game, where I think it makes a lot of sense when you look at the numbers, the X's, the O's, the Jimmies, the Joes, all the rest of it that goes into it. Let's roll on to Baltimore Orioles, the Chicago White Sox. These two teams just need this season to end. So I told you my overall, I'll tell you the stats first. Here are the numbers. 63% of the bet, 76% of the cash in the the Baltimore Orioles. I got Brewers on the brain. It's gone from plus 110 to minus 105. So it's correlated, and there's bigger bettors coming in on it too. The 8.5's gone to 8, despite 92% of the bets and 89% of the cash on the over. And it's juiced to the under. So it's 8.5 down to 8, juiced. That's the definition of reverse line movement right there. You got the White Sox. You got Smith popping out here with a 3.78 ERA. And then you got Dean Kremer on the other side. I told you my assessment with these two teams. One, the White Sox, very profitable post All-Star break. That's not that's data. That's fact. They're also back of their baseball team. Back of their baseball card team. Meaning they have achieved mediocrity. There's nothing left to go. There's nowhere left to go. You're mediocre and you're done. And they've shown it now because they lost 4 straight games. 4-0 shutout, 3-1 loss, 3-2 loss, 4-1 loss. Not just losing, but not scoring runs. And the Orioles, they just played Toronto. Best metrics team in the offense in baseball since the All-Star break. So they lost all 3 of them. We'll give them a break. They had high expectations coming into the season. They achieved mediocrity so super early that everybody gave up. And now they're back at the end of the season trying some new parts, some new pieces out there. They just beat up on the White Sox 4-1. They're 11-0. If you got a total greater than a 7, and they gave up less than 2 runs and more than 10 strikeouts. In other words, they played their game, and there's nothing wonky with the score. 11-0. When I say they played their game, I mean they did. They scored less than 2 runs. The other team got less than 2 runs, and the pitcher went out there and got 10 Ks. And now you're giving me Dean Kremer? It's Baltimore spot. It's Baltimore minus 105 spot. Time will tell. There's quite a few road teams on my card today, so sometimes I reflect on that after the fact, and I think to myself, are we in dangerous territory here? But I think we're okay. Hammer says 28 pitches, bases loaded, 2 outs. Well, hopefully he gets out of this inning. We can fucking hemorrhage to bleeding. You know, this is one of them spots. You see it all the time. When I say one of them spots, I mean the guy gets Luke shaky early, and then he has to come fight his way back out of it here. And there's really no reason not to let Skeens sit out here and get roasted like a fucking marshmallow. So they got nothing going on. Give that guy some depth. Give him a little character to learn from. Let him go home and play the real game. You know what I'm saying? So I got the Baltimore Orioles. Ride that 11-0 pony. I told you guys yesterday, my challenge with this game was, I talked about it at the start of the show, so there's no need to repeat it, right? That was too much of a price tag for the Yankees. And I'm going to fade him again. 84% of the bets, 93% of the cash are on the Yankees. I told you guys that Rendon on the road yesterday. Rondon, tough spot. 90% of the bets, 92% of the cash on the over. I might fire back on the over on this game too. Now it is Schlittler and Zebby Matthews. Zebby Matthews with the 506. Schlittler. Schlittler doesn't have a lot of depth on his resume here as a rookie in program. 7-0. Should they come back and fire off the getting shutout situation? I don't know, maybe. I know that both yesterday's over, missing because the Yankees couldn't contribute. The thing for me, and I've said this before, what do the Twins do? They win in bunches and they lose in bunches. They can find some runs. The over, Minnesota 8-0 to the over after they won by 3 or more runs as a dog. And the Yankees 17 over. Road favorites if they allowed more than 6 runs the previous game. So going right back to the over makes a lot of sense in this game. For me, I was just looking at it going, Sharp Perspective Betting report came through. They're firing off again on the Minnesota Twins. And I'm willing to take that shot. Schlittler, based on his previous start to me, doesn't deserve this price tag. And this team's now played on the Sunday night baseball game. Then they got roasted last night. And they're going to roll back at it here. Look, 1-4-1, last three starts. There's some tape on this guy. He's very capable of getting hit. I'm just not going to play the price tag game with the Yankees here. This is just a Sharp Perspective Betting report's been good to us. I'm going to honor it. I'm going to follow it. I think this is a good opportunity for us to fade these Yankees, take a nice big price tag with this. Was he out of this fucking thing yet? What's going on? Yes. Good. Whew! It's going to get sweaty if he gave up 6 runs in the first inning, and I'm telling you guys to live bet 7.5 and 8.5. That would make me feel like a dick. Okay. Whew. That was sweaty, wasn't it? That felt like a sweaty 6. Yes, sir. So, you know what I'm saying. Last game on the card. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. What a spot. I'm firing on the over with this Dodgers game, man. This is the I don't give a fuck if it's a 7.5 spot. These are two playoff-bound teams that are tops of their division that have the offenses that go out there and spank that ass. 96% of the bets, 96% of the cash have hit the 7 or over 8. It's now 7.5. Minus 116 on the side is now minus 135. 61% of the bets, 67% of the cash are on the Dodgers. It's Ohtani and Sanchez. We know Ohtani doesn't go very far. He doesn't go very deep. Look, this is going to be a hitting a display, I believe. My heart of hearts tells me. I mean, we saw 6-5 yesterday on what should have been an under. The Dodgers are just when they score. Last 5 games, 9 runs. They had a 1. Then they had a 13. It's funny because we faded them in that game. 5-1 loss against the San Francisco Giants. I think the Giants were like plus 130 or something, like 135 maybe. Then they fire back 13 runs, 10 runs, 5 runs, and more runs. Other side of the ball, the Phillies are doing exactly the same thing. 6 runs, 8 runs, 8 runs. They did have a 3, still a 3. And then 6 last night in this spot. The Dodgers find themselves in an over. After a loss in extra innings, they roll to the over 6 straight times. The LA Dodgers do. I think they're a favorite for a reason. I think it seems a little light to me. But I also don't think you're going to see Ohtani go 7-8 innings deep. They have no reason at all for that to be the situation. So that's how we'll close the baseball shop up. Phillies over 7.5. Give me some runs. I got on some fucking spam list. I wish I knew. I wish I knew who put me on there. Okay. Let's talk some WNBA really quick. For what it's worth, I can tell you guys, I'm man enough to admit when I'm wrong about the ladies. And the Atlanta Dream, 30-14. Against the Indiana Fever. They also have themselves in a pretty terrific spot tonight, but I can't touch that game. The game I want to be on has to be our spot. You just got busted up. You're at home. You're in the dog roll. And your back's against the wall facing elimination. You got to start out hot. Now, can this game deteriorate and shit falls apart? Yeah, of course. We've seen that more often than I care to admit. But I think this is a good opportunity for us here. Looking at this Aces Storm team, it was 3 earlier today. I was able to give it out at 3 earlier today to the Win Club. Now it's 2.5. I still like it. I still think this is a situation where, again, backs against the wall. These girls got to come out there and fire. If Seattle's going to do anything, it's got to be at home. Now the Aces are that team we talked about. Multiple championships. They didn't know where to put a line on these girls early in the season. because they couldn't win games, and now they've just strung together win after win after. I mean, shit, you couldn't be any more red hot. But they just embarrassed Seattle 102-77. So this is the home bounce back in the playoffs, back against the wall situation. Anywhere you're going to play the Storm, I'd rather be at home. And I'll take the points in my back pocket, 2.5. I expect it to be tight, not a blow. I don't know what's going to happen in the second half. I'd imagine the Aces put their foot on the gas and they beat them girls up in that second half of this game. But I think they can hang in there for at least the first half. And then what I think happens is when they get, you know what happens. You guys know the deal. They get dejected. They go down. They start yelling at each other. Then they're talking about the other girl's boyfriend or girlfriend. And then things just deteriorate. And it rapidly devolves to the point that there's just no hope left in them. And they lose and they get busted up by 20 points. But 2.5 points in the first half seems reasonable to me. It's -105. Seems reasonable price tag for us today. We've got some really nice plus money spots. We've got really nothing too egregious here. We got a +120. I see the Guardians are up. We got San Diego +105, Toronto -108. I gave you 2 other ways to play that game. The team total over 3.5 and Freddie P over 7.5 Ks is +133. The Baltimore O's -105. The Minnesota Twins +140. The Phillies over 7.5 -105. The worst odds we got today are -1. The worst odds we got today are on this live line for this Pirates game at 8.5 and 7.5. But that's going to be the way that we put the bow on the show, you guys. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button if you're going to tail me or fade me. Just show some respect to me by smashing that thumbs up button, if you will. And we're going to be back here. We're going to be back in 50 minutes or so, talking the Dana White Contender Series. Get the crew, get the fellas, get some cocktails, and then let's live bet. Let's have some fun tonight. We're going to do what we do here with the Sports Money MMA crew. On behalf of Sports Money, on behalf of Ramon Scott, the morning steam at 9 a.m.-ish. Check us out. Have some fun. Good luck with all your bets tonight. See you guys here in just a little bit. Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. We don't stop. Bring sleep or snow. Pregaming is good to go.
Snow, Curtis Blow,